Welcome to another video, guys. Today we're gonna be talking about the new Pontiff event dungeon, which everybody should be farming the hell out of, because right now this is the best place to be getting yourself top quality accessories. Even if they're not actually top quality, it's still gonna be amazing for anybody to get themselves 10 extra speed from their ring plus amulet combo. So in this video I'm gonna give you a quick guide about how you can be handling this new event dungeon, talk about what champions will be good to use, talk about what champions are not so good to use, and everything you need to know in order for you to actually farm it well. If you find the video helpful, a like and subscribe would be awesome, and don't forget you can check me out live on stream each Tuesday and Thursday for free account takeovers, where I do my best to help you guys enjoy Raid even more. If you want to support the channel for free, download the game through my premium download link and start Raid the right way with tons of extra amazing champions, and also use the promo code section in your first 48 hours for an extra amazing legendary champion. Now let's get into the guide. So here's the Pontiff Augustine's strategy section, and this time Raid kind of did us dirty, not gonna lie. There's literally not a single strategy section here. It's just a breakdown of what his skills do, and not much really is set here, like no strategy like the other event dungeon strategies we've seen before. Anyway, going through the skills for this guy, the first thing he's gonna do when the battle starts is he's gonna place himself 50 increased accuracy buff for 2 turns and 1 intercept stack on all allies, and also fills all turn meters of all allies by 25%, also grants himself an extra turn meter. Already from the get-go, you guys can notice this guy, if he takes a turn before you, well, you're gonna be in a very tough spot. His other thing he does would be remove all buffs from all enemies, has a 75 chance of placing 100% ensnare debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. This debuff will ignore any block debuffs buff on enemies under 3 or more buffs. Also decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 25%. If an enemy is under 3 or more buffs, will decrease their turn meter by 40% instead. All around definitely sounds rough, but as long as you don't let the boss take a turn before you do, I think you should be fine for the most part. His A1 is also not the best for you. Attacks one enemy, has a 75 chance of placing a block active skills buff for 2 turns, and steals 5% of the target's turn meter for each buff on them. What you're gonna notice here is if you're having a team with plenty of buffs, you're not gonna have a super happy fun time against him, as long as you let him take a turn, that is. He also has a few passives you need to know about. Your Eminence. Allies receive 25 less damage from enemies under block damage, unkillable, veil, perfect veil, or stone skin buffs. So if you're planning on bringing some damage mitigation stuff like these, you're also gonna be damage mitigating for the opponent, so not a very good thing to be doing. Each time an enemy receives a buff, is healed, or has their turn meter filled, has a 50% chance to decrease the duration of all their buffs by 1 turn. Occurs once per skill and once per target. Not once per turn, however, so it can happen multiple times per turn, it seems. If there are multiple champions on the team, whatever, this is not worth reading. He also has immunity to all of the good things, you know how it go. A few other things worth mentioning here though is that his damage from skills that scale based on enemy max HP cannot exceed 5% of the boss's max HP when attacking the boss. So things like Newt, things like Cold Heart, not gonna be super amazing for you. He's also immune to decreased speed, obviously, and turn meter reduction effects. Damage from HP burns is also capped at 1%, it's usually 2.5 I think. And he's also gonna deal decreased damage to champions with Awakens, and he's also gonna be taking extra damage from champions with Awakens. So obviously if you have yourself some Awakened good champions, those would be the best to bring, especially your nukers, but technically anybody with good Ascensions would be good here, because both it reduces the damage you take and increases the damage you deal. All around the boss does sound kinda intimidating, but technically speaking, it's kinda like an arena battle, guys. Like, you just bring yourself a speed lead that boosts everybody's turn, you drop the enemy's defense, you place weaken if you can, and you slap them silly with a big nuke. The boss does take reduced damage from max HP stuff, but the enemies don't, so there's that. And stage 20 is the first one we could talk about. Here, I'd say things are not very hard. We have Senesha and her sister, and a couple of more epics that are not exactly noteworthy, and the battle really does go pretty easy for you. Yes, I'm bringing 4 epics in here, but they're all +4, with not the best gear if we gotta be completely honest. Like, they're just built with some random pieces I have laying around, like Deacon Armstrong is not exactly quick. Magnar definitely is a very good nuker right now. If you have Magnar, he would be a pretty good champion to be bringing here, because he kinda nukes everybody with a single A2. The Gore ain't the worst, giving you the increased speeds, and also a reviver if things go fucky for you. Phoenix is just another basic bitch nuker. Same can be said for Siege Hulk. Basically, what I did here is brought myself a turn meter booster, an increased speed champion, and 3 nukers nukers, because honestly, what else do you need in this fight? It's really not that big a deal. We have Deacon also dropping defense, so the fight really does go easy for me at least, but it shouldn't be much different for you guys as well. Here we go, Deacon does his thing, Magnar goes in hordes, deletes most of everything here, Phoenix finished the job. Skullcrown does survive here because of the unkillable, but it's not that big a deal. There she goes. And after that is just a matter of time, everybody else to clean everything else. So yeah, I think everybody should at least farm stage 20 of this dungeon, because it's really not that hard. Like, you could even solo farm it with food champions. For me, that does happen with somebody like Marius, let's say. I haven't tried it with traditional solo farmers like Artak, but maybe let's do that right now. I'm just gonna bring Artak with 4 food champions. Again, my Artak is a little bit too overbuilt, but what can I say? Suffering from success. Let's just bring a bunch of foods. There we go, and let's see if we're gonna be able to handle this with just the regen set. It's probably gonna take a while, not gonna lie, but worth checking at least. Like, a lot of people should have themselves a regen set champion that farms food like this, but doesn't seem like it's gonna work, does it? We also got our skills reduced, so no, even my Artak is not gonna be able to handle this. Who is gonna handle this would be a Marius, so if you guys are trying to farm some food while farming some Chronophage, well, Marius kind of wins the game. Altogether, he's just gonna be too good here. Like, look at what he's doing. Taking extra turns because it's a 9-piece merciless and everything like that, but yeah, all around this is kind of more of a flex than anything else. Like, if you can do this with a Marius, you're probably going to be better off just farming stage 30, which is what I'm going to show you next. Hey, look at that, a 6-star ring, pretty good stuff. So, a few things you need to know when fighting stage 20 is, here's what the breakpoints you need to be breaking, basically. How fast are the enemies is something really important for all stages, basically. If you're slower than these speeds, well, the boss is going to take a turn before you, and things are going to be a lot harder for you than they're supposed to. The boss himself is the fastest champion here with 211 speed, which is basically a speed most people should be breaking with their speed lead champion, at least after their first month in the game. Shouldn't be too hard, just slap a speed boot with just the speed set on everything else, and that is close to 200 for most people. So yeah, it's very important for you to have above 211 speed, so your speed lead takes a turn, and he should be boosting everybody else to take a turn faster than everybody else for the opponent. And what is another important thing you need to know here? Well, the boss's resistance. The boss has 280 resistance, meaning you need 305 accuracy in order to be guaranteed to land a debuff with a 3% chance of that not happening, no matter how much accuracy you have, but yeah, you get it. Everybody has 280 resistance, so all of your debuffers need to be having 305 accuracy for them to be landing their thing. That's all there is to this fight. Nothing else really matters too much. The rest should be just well-built nukers that deal decent amount of damage, and this should be done for you. The champions are also nothing to write home about, so this should really not be a hard fight for most people. So yes, do what you can to be farming at least stage 20. That would be the best stage to be farming for decent gear as well as decent return on your energy, so all around good stuff. After stage 20, on stage 21 the enemies start changing. You're gonna face these guys instead of the basic epics, and the strategy is not gonna change too much. You still basically want to be fast enough to take a turn, you still want to drop defense, and you want to nuke the hell out of them. You guys can go to hellhades.com, go to Raid Shadow Legends and the Raid Stages tool. From here, you pick Dungeons, Event Dungeon, Normal, and you pick the stage you need to be facing, and from here you're gonna know how much exactly speed you're gonna need. Come on, Hellhades, this never happened before. There we go. 236 speed this time on the boss, and you got to gradually check how much more speed you're gonna need depending on the level you're fighting. Seems like it's gonna stick around to 236 for a while, all the way down to stage 25. And on stage 26, champions change, and here the speed also changes, 261. Here you're gonna have to fight a little bit harder bosses. The really tough part would be Ancora plus Narcis's combo. The other two not that important, but still you are gonna need to nuke the hell out of them. And on stage 28 is where the situation really changes. Here it's gonna be a lot harder because you're gonna have a Hegemon you need to actually strategize against. Ancora's still here, Narcis is still here, and Clef is also not the easiest champion to handle, but let's just see what the breakpoints for stage 30 is, because that's where people are mostly gonna want to farm. And here you're gonna see that it's not actually that hard, guys. 291 speed nowadays, that's really not that big a deal. With all the relics, with all the better glyphs out there, 291 speed for your speed lead champion. Like, a lot of nukers are actually above 300 speed nowadays. Not for most people, obviously, but endgame nukers for sure. So it's really not gonna be that rough for most people to be farming this stage. But the rough part is to actually handle Hegemon. The thing about Hegemon is he's gonna start first because of his passive, always goes first each round. And what is he gonna do on the first round? Attacks all enemies, places decrease attack buff for 2 turns, also has a 50 chance of placing a block active skills debuff for 2 turns. Now, you could either try to resist this, or you could just try to cleanse it. And cleansing it is really the safer part, because building everybody in a ton of resistance, that's not gonna be very fun. Again, these guys are gonna have 480 resistance, so if you want to be landing your debuffs, you're gonna need at least 505 accuracy. And for Ancora, Narcisse, and Clef, it's actually 515, which is not gonna be very easy for most, but still, at least for your decreased defense champions, decreased speed champions, 515 accuracy would be the norm. If you want to try and resist Hegemon's A2, you're gonna have to bring 615 resistance, which again, nothing to scoff at, guys. It is not gonna be very easy, so instead of that, the strategy would be a little bit different. What you could do instead is just build yourself a cleanser in 4-piece feral set. What does the 4th piece? For me, that would be Donatello. I've stitched together a build, which I basically haul around people. Here's the build I'm using, and here's what he looks like. 4-piece feral. Like I said, what does the feral do? It places a block debuffs on the wearer at the start of the round for 2 turns. That's all you need, guys. That's all you need. You just need to resist the stupid block active skills for 1 turn, and that's gonna be good enough for you. I did try with high resistance. It kind of works, but why risk the 3% when you can just straight out block the debuff altogether? And what's the other important thing here? Your cleanser really needs to be the fastest on your team. Like, literally the fastest. He cannot be the second, the third. He needs to be the fastest so he can cleanse and everybody else can do their job. So basically what happens is the fight starts, Hegemon does his thing, Donatello resists it because he has block debuffs, and he goes in with the A3, removes all debuffs from all allies, and everybody else is ready to go. Also the turn meter boost is amazing, so yeah, if you got yourself Donatello, that would be amazing, but for the most part, any cleanser would do. Just check your collection, see who has removed debuffs on your team, and just make them super quick, give them 4 pieces feral, and you should be good to go for the most part. That's at least for the Hegemon part. What else do you need to do after that? Well, after Donatello has cleansed, you want yourself a good speed lead champion, like let's say Estrid. Heck, honestly, even somebody like Deacon Armstrong is gonna get the job done, because again, he's gonna boost turn meter, he's also gonna drop defense for everybody if you have him in high enough accuracy, so all around good stuff. After that, preferably you wanna maybe crowd control the enemies. For that part, I have myself an Odin, who's also actually gonna be my decreased defense champion. And what's happening after that? My Marius goes in hard, deals a ton of damage, and all the ads are dead. And from there on out, it's just a matter of time. I just brought myself an extra damage dealer like Wallmaster of Orion, but you could also just bring yourself some good single target nuker, who's also gonna be pretty good here. I just threw this thing together close to midnight and I just wanted it done, so yeah, this is what we brought. So here's what the speeds look like for me. I have 356 speed Donnie, which as you guys saw is quite the overkill. All you need is about 300-ish speed, and that should be good enough for you. But what's important here is, like I said, Donnie needs to be the fastest, so I had to make my Estrid slightly slower. She was a little bit faster before, but I just removed a few good speed pieces from her, so she drops below Donnie just a pinch. And what she's gonna do, she's gonna increase speed for everybody, increase attack, also turn meter fill, and she's also gonna decrease speed for everybody, places a weaken, and also decrease turn meter for whoever is actually susceptible to that. The boss isn't. After that, my Odin, who is again slower than everybody so far, he's gonna go in, he's gonna have enough accuracy to do his drop defense plus stun combo, and after that Marius goes in with the good old A3, deletes everybody, and Wallmaster of Orion is just there to pick up the pieces, or more like to keep on kicking the pieces in and get the job done. But yeah, Wallmaster really doesn't matter here. Here's what the battle does look like in action. It does look like a 100% to me. Here's what happens. A few people got blocked. Why the hell is my Estrid first? That was weird. Why was my Estrid first, guys? Could be some mastery or relic or something I didn't pay attention to, but yeah, I guess I gotta make my Estrid a little bit slower. Now that I said it, I do remember Ashley brought a few of her better pieces back and didn't remember to replace them, but yeah, after the Ensnare debuff happens, basically the turn meter boost my turn meter boosters are doing ain't boosting much, if any. It literally doesn't do shit anymore. But yeah, you get the picture. Okay, this is a little bit slower than usual, basically because Estrid was a little bit faster than she was supposed to. The good thing about Estrid here is that she actually did not get her skills blocked, so that's why this run didn't fail. But still, might as well make it guaranteed that things like this don't happen. All I'm gonna have to do now is reduce Estrid's speed just a wee bit more, and this should be good. And there we go. About a 1 minute run. My best was about 47 seconds. Something like that. I also noticed my Estrid had a little bit lower accuracy than she was supposed to. Now we brought her a super slow chest with accuracy on it. So that is gonna make things a lot smoother now. And let's just do the run one more time. Here's what it's gonna look like this time for real, for real. There we go, this time she did get the block active, this guy does his thing. Now Odin is slightly faster than Estrid, but that's not a big deal. We do the thing, and now it's gonna be working like clockwork. This guy a bit too tanky even for my Marius, which says a lot. But still, this should be a pretty clean run. Goddamn these weak hits, man. Why won't you die? Pretty demotivating seeing how low damage Marius does here, but still, he is a pretty good champion to delete the waves with. If you don't have Marius, let's face it, a lot of people don't, you could try with Seer. She is also an amazing champion to clear the ads with. You could also bring somebody like Royal Guard, that kind of stuff, but yeah, all around that's about it, guys. I still haven't gotten to the challenges. Those are definitely challenging, like look at this nonsense. The last stage literally requires 386 speed for the boss, but that's not even the fastest. Ancora is at 414, and her A2 does turn meter boost, so everybody else is probably gonna take a turn after if she's first. So yeah, the last stage is gonna be quite the challenge, but that is gonna be a challenge for another day. I'm not gonna do that just yet. It's also not something you can farm as far as I'm aware. I think you just gotta do it once and forget about it. But yeah, for now, stage 30 is gonna be what we are doing. Also, if you're really far ahead in the game and you actually have yourself a really good Marius, let's say, you could even duo farm the stage 30 if you have the right gear for it. I myself have myself a pretty beefed up horse, and also Odin is nothing to scoff at, so what you could do instead is scrap all the strategy I talked about already and just bring yourself a super quick horse, about 300 speed ought to do it, and bring him in a PvP gear set, which mine already has a pretty good one, and that is gonna take care of Hegemon's crap, because you're just gonna have a stone skin for turn 1, and that's when Hegemon does his thing, and same can be said for Odin. I literally have both of my guys right now in their PvP builds, and both of them are relatively quick. Like my horse is 318, Odin is plenty more, so what's gonna happen is Odin is gonna drop defense and stun, and Marius is just gonna start slapping. It's not gonna be super quick, but it's all about it being able to bring food for you, so that is actually kinda insane. There we go, Marius does his thing. That Ancora is actually, okay, this is kinda messy, kinda messy, but thank God for Odin being able. If my horse was just slightly a little bit stronger, this should have been easy, but now things are kinda starting to look messy, don't they? Things are starting to look messy. Odin is clutching it with the unkillable, I guess. Let's see. Doesn't look like a 100 right now. It did work the first time I tried it, but this is... nah. Way too close for comfort, this one. There we go, this time for real. Okay, it is gonna work, I think. But far from super good. Maybe instead of Odin, I should bring somebody else, honestly. God damn, this guy's messing with me, huh? I think it's still gonna work, but a lot of good luck happened to us. But look at how weak the boss is hitting, guys. Like a defense-based nuker like Marius, he is taking it like a champ. And even with all of those things that gone wrong, this is still gonna be a happy ending for us, apparently. Neat. I guess instead of Odin, I could bring somebody like, let's say, a Lydia, and that should work well, but all around, something like this is also gonna work. Basically, check what kind of champion you could bring alongside your Marius, and this should be basically a two-man food farming team for you on stage 30, which is kinda insane. So yeah, guys, I hope you found this guide helpful. If you did, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and do let me know in the comments what kind of strategy you're using against Pontiff, so we can continue improving and do this even more efficient. Don't forget you can check me out live on stream each Tuesday and Thursday for free account takeovers, but if you don't want to wait that long, you could also hire me straight out with the Metafy link. Check the description for more information. If you want to support the channel for free, download Raid from my premium download link and start Raid the right way. Thanks for watching. I'm Chronophage, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.